Hey, is this thing on?
This thing's on.
Hey, welcome to the writers' room.
We're live.
Welcome back, Jason. Sorry for the.
Well, I think that me coming in right in the middle of your intro sufficiently fucked everything up enough that we're all good now. So,
I think it's all good.
Yeah.
good.
This hadn't really occurred to me. Man, we get your excellent internet for the next hour and a half. This is gonna be fun. And we're off. All right, so here we go. I wish we could just zoom in on him.
Yep, we got it.
It's perfect. God.
This should work out well.
Really,
Let me move over to the Google
I'm trying
Doc
to
real
quit
quick.
all
See
the-
where I'm
all-
at.
What the
I
hell
don't
is
know,
going
too
on
far
with
off.
this crap?
Which Celtics
What?
are we in tonight? Terry?
I don't know.
Yeah, hey,
You want me to pull up some Celtics?
Yeah. Which
pull
Celtics
out
are
your
we going to
Celtics,
use?
Terry.
Let's
Let me
use
get in
number
there.
9 midpoint. Well, what's number 1 opening image? Have we used that one before? I feel like we have.
I don't know. Let me get out of. So I was in a different
Nope,
username.
nothing
login.
here. So use number 1 opening image.
We have Harlots already.
Where?
How do I share this with you?
Is it
You know
in
what? Huh?
what folder is it in?
I'm gonna share. All right. You get this?
Is it in my inbox?
I just shared it with Jake.
Like in my inbox?
No, under Celtics. Jake, Best Place Productions.
Oh,
Huh.
I didn't get anything. Yeah, I didn't get anything. Where would I find that?
No, we don't really need that anyway tonight, since we're just doing an outline, a beat sheet.
Okay.
We can do that in our docs that we've been using.
Okay. So we'll just switch over to the Google Doc and we'll roll down from where we're at, and then we can start laying the story out. I think that, Jason, you're going to have a lot of fun today because you like tits a whole lot. And in this one,
Sure.
we have an older gal who is in porn or was in porn in her heyday and is going to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay.
We have to come up with certain things that you may have a level of, I'm only guessing, masturbatory expertise in that you might be able to bring to the table.
Well, I thank you. That's why I'm here. It's for my masturbatory expertise.
Good. You're like, I have a feeling that you're a bit of a porn sommelier, so it'll be exciting to see what you can bring to the process.
Porn song. Yes.
Now we should.
I have
Maybe we
viewed a
should
pornograph or two in my time.
Maybe we should
What's
share like
oh man, my internet sucks.
our log line and a little backstory with him.
Yeah.
Backstory.
So let's bring
I
up
like
the
where this
Google
is
Doc.
headed.
Can you see any of this, Jason? Does he have access to this doc?
He's about to.
Good.
You want to drop it in the chat here or share
There
it?
you go.
Just here we. I'm looking at my email right now, looking for updates. I just got an email from Burning Man.
Hey.
Update on what's going on with Burning Man.
The
Jackrabbit speaks.
Is that happening?
The
Is
beauty
anybody
of
else
this
subscribed?
The beauty of this show is that while it has an open and it has a close, it's not really a show. Even though it's live.
Oh, it's happening Sunday, August 22nd. Oh, virtual.
What's that?
Okay. Burning Man.
A virtual Burning Man?
Yeah.
I mean,
They did it
Yeah.
last year.
Oh, Terry's over there. Yeah, so Terry subscribed too. He got the same. He got the email. Good. So I'll have to meet you. We'll have to meet up at Burning Man one of these years.
Yes. Well, this year we can do it virtually. We can just go out into our streets,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Okay.
On peyote.
That's actually. Yeah.
So we'll do a bunch of ecstasy, and we'll put on some
Okay.
EDM music,
That's more my
and we'll party our asses off.
speed, actually.
Alright.
This. Okay. Just drop ecstasy videos. I like your. I see you got your notes stuck to your painting there behind you there.
Yeah.
Terry. That's nice.
Yeah, I think those are the ultra titties. And what was the other one? More titties?
More
Yeah,
titties.
those are the.
More titties and ultra titties,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do big
All
and
right.
small titties.
You're in the Google Doc?
I dig it. It's important. Yeah, my internet is such a pile of crap right now. It took a while to open, but I'm looking at the Google Doc now. Yes, I'm here.
All right. Well, go ahead and scroll through it. Kind of familiarize yourself with it. This is going to be probably an 80s period type movie so that we can use simpler cars, simpler times. We don't have, to worry about some of the modern stuff. Or we can write it modern, quite honestly, if we wanted to. And
Yeah.
But then we have to justify it backwards
this-
somehow.
It's so this is not a misspelling. It's do ex machina. It's
Yes.
a deus. Okay, I like it. I'm on board. I'm already on board. You had me at do. All right, reading through this. I mean, everything I'm saying so far is an affirmative on my end. I like it.
All right. So we got the long lines. We ended up with aging porn star dupes her conservative roommate into taking a road trip to Vegas so she can accept Lifetime Achievement Award from AVN. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that. They have to coerce some people and do some stuff and whatever and grow and bond as friends. Judy's late 70s. She lives in a nursing home. She used to be a porn star. She was a spinster. She never got married. She likes cats. She does, cool things like play what's that card game that old ladies play? It has the pegboard.
Bridge.
Pinochle.
Bridge.
And
Pinochle.
Pinochle. She has canasta night,
All of them.
right?
Or
Maybe she was into a little bit of metaphysics, tarot, palm reading,
card money.
crystals, that kind of stuff, so we can give her a little bit of a gypsy feel, part of which would be a nod to my Aunt Joyce. We kind of dig into her past a little bit, how she got out of Indiana. And then Grace, who's her friend, also in around the same age, maybe a smaller person, smaller woman. Husband passed a few years back, very kind of drawn in and quiet type and a little bit more demure. Has kids, but all of her kids died due to war and circumstance, except for the last one, whose name is Asshole, I believe. Yeah, there he is, Asshole Buck. Surprise child ends up being the one who puts Grace in the home.
These people have more of a personality than me.
yeah.
God dang it! Like they got more personal details, more features ascribed to them than I could.
Yeah.
I got 4 maybe. Like I'm a dude. I wear black. I don't like people. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, interrupt. Like these are rich. These characters are rich with detail.
Well, we wanted to really screw with them a little bit and kind of root around in their past and figure out some of that stuff so that when their interactions and the dialogue came up, it felt a little more natural.
Well, how do you though? So these are kind of notes for the actors, or like do you like because this is the kind of thing I ran into. I forgot to name characters. Like, are you gonna, bring this stuff up? I guess this is gonna be a feature. Like, these people are gonna be pretty prominent in their personalities, I guess. So,
right,
because they got a lot of them. Yeah.
And we thought
Cool.
having
No.
all these things written for them may not necessarily come out in the script,
Right.
but when we're writing the script, we can kind of go back to what we said those characters' traits were, and kind of try to make sure they kind of are incorporated, just to give more depth to these people as we're writing their dialogue. That, like, this may not be, as we're writing, I know I run into things where I might write a conversation with two people. They're coming from me. I haven't really fleshed out the characters, so it just sounds like a person talking to themselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the script sounds like until we got an actor, fleshing it out. But the more material the more inspiration anyone has to work with, the better, I'd say. So it's a lot of whoever we get for these parts, they're gonna be they're gonna know who they are, for sure.
Yeah. And on something like this, we can't get away with like narrating everything. We're going to have some very sincere, long form dialogue that gets plugged in here that really makes you believe what's happening, and informs the actors. Obviously, they have to pull it off, but if you can say it with words, that's a great start.
There's that whole body language thing that people keep talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never know what to do with my arms. It's confusing to me. What is this normal? What? Yes, quite.
So then we've got Slow Dewey Sprigg. He works there. He was kept out of military service for whatever reason.
Slow Dewey.
What's that?
There goes old Slow Dewey.
Old Slow Dewey Sprigg. He's a little bit slow.
So people call him Slow Dewey or call him Slow?
They call him Slow Dewey.
Okay, gotcha.
Knows a little bit about everything. Kind of an handyman sort of dude. He's a Trivial Pursuit guru. Maybe he's a little bit a touch autistic or something, which is why they call him that. But he's actually super high retention.
He's very fast, ironically.
Ironically, yes. Keeps himself busy, getting too old for this shit, generous with his time and money, and he's smuggling the old diamonds in the old lady's pussies. Isn't that what Who Nanny is? You wrote it.
Oh, did I write that?
That could be
What do you mean, did I write that? It's Who Nanny. Who do you think wrote it, Terry?
Oh yeah, of course.
Only one person that we know says Who Nanny.
If I reference Who Nanny, if it's Who Nanny, I wrote it.
Hoonies.
I would say Slow Dewey. He's a handyman, but you never see him working. You just see his projects are just done. Like he moves very slow. It seems like he would never get anything done. But then like, hey, you got my truck. You said it'd be ready today. It's like, oh yeah, it's over there. It's ready. It's all good.
Everything
like,
is just getting finished. He's just shining the bumper. Well, there it is.
Yeah. He's just putting the finishing touches on it very slowly.
Hey, Dewey, we have to head over to the accountant's office. Well, there's your taxes right there, ma'am. Sorry about that. Hands him a big old book of things that's all like laid out perfectly and written in calligraphy.
Yeah, have you guys seen? It's kind of that's a similar kind of character to. Have you seen Strangers with Candy? The dad. You guys see Strangers with Candy?
I know the show. Yeah.
Yeah, the dad character. Or the grandpa. I don't know what they call him, but he's the patriarch of the family. You never see him move. He's always like, or he's always posed in a position, and he's on camera just posed.
Right.
And like he does things. The characters talk about him as if he's done things, but whenever they cut to him, he's just frozen in some weird stance. So that's kind of like our Slow Dewey Sprigg is like he's like that. You hear about him doing all these things, you see him doing all these things, but you never actually see him doing them.
Right. You just know that he's done them because he's right there with them saying they're done.
Yeah,
Right.
and who else would have done them but Dewey Spriggs? So no, I like this.
Which
slow
is
Dewey
why
Sprigg character.
they stumbled upon we stumbled upon a gem when we found old Dewey. He don't charge us much. He just charges us room and
Yep.
board and a little bit of money for groceries. He's just happy to be here, old Dewey Sprigg. You know they call him Slow Dewey, but he gets stuff done faster than anybody I ever seen.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Dewey get anything done? Well, come to think of it, I haven't.
I've never seen him do anything. Dewey. He don't do nothing, Dewey.
He don't do nothing,
oh.
Dewey.
Slow Joey.
I like this Dewey character. I've latched onto him for sure. But yeah, no, it's good.
From there, we have Nellie Bell, who is the actual car. Nellie Bell, the car, talks, but not talks, just narrates the movie. But you think the movie is narrated by Slow Dewey Sprigg, but it's actually being narrated by the car.
Yeah.
And the whole story, in spite of everything, I think winds up being a little bit of a love letter to Dewey from Nellie Bell
What's the,
on this last adventure they go on together.
What are all these car models you've listed here? Are these possible makes of
Yeah.
Nellie Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just trying to think of cars that might be
My butt
popular in
itches.
I think
the 80s.
we should certainly, because of this this plot device with the Nellie Bell car being like Kit and
Right.
Knight Rider or something
Well,
like
no,
that.
not Kit. Doesn't talk and communicate. Is just narrating the story.
Well,
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, it would be. I kind of see an avenue for having multiple cars doing their own little sidebar. But if we're not using the cars, like, so how do you connect the voice? How is the voice connected? How is the
Dewey bought
narration
Dewey
connected to
bought the car originally. Dewey's the only person who's ever cared for or driven the car. Dewey is the person who's, and this is
Yep.
30, 40 years later.
And we don't realize until, I think we reveal this at the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
That the car was
that's what I'm asking.
narrated.
Is that so? But first off, you have to have an excuse for the movie. You have to somehow mislead first off, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit confusing, right? You have this old lady voice narrating a movie for some reason. Like, you don't want people to track that instantly. You want them to be explained, and then later you can reveal. But that's what makes me.
What we had discussed
Yeah, that's
originally, was starting the movie in the middle, at a stressful point in the middle of the situation, the middle of the story, kind of or with maybe a dialogue along the lines of I'm not sure how I got myself into this mess, and very Dewey Spriggy lines that are being put forth. And then walk
you
the
could
whole story back to when the girls, start their story.
Sure. I mean, that makes some sense to me. And then you could almost do a fake origin story with that if you want it. You could actually do the middle of a movie that isn't even there. You could do introduce those two characters, Sprigg and Nellie Bell, at the same time in kind of a fake canon where for no I'm imagining Nellie Bell careening, teetering halfway off of a bridge, and then you see the Dewey Sprigg or whatever. He's climbing into the back seat to shift the ballast to make it so that she doesn't fall into the water or something. They're hold up, oh Nellie Bell, or something. You see Joey Sprigg being more emotive than normal enough here, but it just seems like something as random as that would establish both the voice of the car and the character of Sprigg, and then you just cut to the beginning or whatever, and you never even have to revisit that scene. It could just be, but yeah, I don't know, just playing off of what you're saying, starting on a dramatic scene in the middle, that does make a lot of sense how to explain this female voice overlay.
I'm not going to hang on.
Yeah.
So Nellie Bell is out on the edge of a branch, or hanging off of a bridge,
A cliff.
a cliff.
Yeah.
Maybe in Vegas. The
A
whole
bridge,
point is them
specifically,
going
like,
to the AVN Awards in Vegas. Maybe she's teetering, trying to, and he's trying to save the
I'm
car and the woman and the girls.
Right.
Maybe that's he's saving the day, and he does get the car back so they can finally make it on the rest of their journey.
Gotcha.
Might be a way to do it.
I was having a hard time seeing that. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, something along those lines, because it's not going to be, whatever it is has to be stressful for 70-year-olds and plausible that they could get out of it.
stressful for 70-year-old cars. Is that what we're still
70-year-old
talking about?
humans too. 40-year-old
There's a
cars.
70-year-old human in the car.
Well, maybe
Dewey
so
Sprague
maybe,
is 70.
yeah,
Huh?
maybe the women are outside of the car, and they've called him to help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that would be.
Then we could tell the backstory of how they got there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be good. Like you have them already. You have all the passengers already standing outside the car.
Uh-huh.
The car is dramatically
And they're holding on to the bumper
careening off
trying
by
to
the
bring it
ridge or
back.
cliff, and you've got Sprig. Maybe I would say that they're just paralyzed with fear, and it's Sprig is the one who springs to action inside the car to shift the ballast to put the car to. He jumps from the driver's seat, maybe the passenger seat. Maybe it's not his fault. He's in the passenger seat. He jumps from the passenger seat into the back seat, which brings the back wheels down, and it's a rear wheel drive car because it's an old car, and it just skips right back onto the curb instead of falling into the river.
Maybe Dewey's at the steering wheel, and because he's old, he falls asleep while it's still in neutral. The girls are outside bickering about something or another, and he starts going over the edge, and that's where they have to kind of latch on and try to stop it. About the time he notices too.
I don't know. I'm trying to. We're trying to make Dewey Sprig into kind of a sleeper hero, right? Like he's on the ball.
Yeah, but you would know that. You wouldn't know that by how we would cut it, because all we would cut it at is him springing to action in whatever capacity, right?
Well, yeah. In any event, though, I don't want the impetus to be that he fucked up, because Dewey is the guy who fixes things. He
That's
doesn't
true.
break things. So
That is true.
Yeah, whoever like.
Maybe that's what
however
makes it significant. He's losing his touch.
Well, that's a shaky foot. We're establishing a character, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on board with Dewey snapping to action. I would just, it would make sense if there was some, I don't know who fucks up, but someone fucked up and the car is about to, probably one of the women. You could presumably, because that's like the point of him maybe being in the passenger seat is he's subservient to one of these women, he's a worker. So a woman is driving, not to be sexist, but maybe she did the thing, slipped over the railing or drove off of a cliff halfway, and then they all panicked and left the car, and then Dewey was sleeping in the passenger seat and has to fix it, that kind of thing.
Sure.
I don't know.
All right.
See another note behind Terry there. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it make
Third
sense
note.
with the character. Yeah, there's more notes. Just with the notes, with how you've established the character of Dewey Sprig, he seems like a fixer. He would be the guy who would not be to blame. He's definitely the guy who is fixing something, whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, I'm on board with him waking up. That's a good way to establish his character.
Yep. And so that we're trying to set the tone, or the tone for the story. The opening image is going to set the whole tone.
So he saves the day, pulls the car back, and that's when Judy starts seeing him differently, maybe.
And it's because
he saves Judy.
Because he controls the car, not with like the wheel or the pedal. He does it by being like a little helper. He just jumps into the back seat, which gives the car the weight that she needs to
back it
have
out.
the back wheels
Right.
on the road
Back it
to save
rear wheel
herself.
drive.
So yeah, it's like, and then you can narrate narrate how whatever kind of friendship they bond
Yeah.
right there.
Bet-
Right.
Yeah, and I
just
bet,
as
I bet you're wondering how we got here, and then that could be the main idea. So,
Yep.
you know, this thing down here, I don't know if you can see the beat sheet underneath Rayla's.
Yeah, I got it up right now.
So basically, after we set the tone on that very first, 1 minute or so of the movie, this narrow escape, maybe then we let Dewey narrate. I bet you're wondering how we got here, and then set up the whole main idea about them leaving the nursing home to go take a road trip to Vegas and visit the
Well-
Adult Video News Awards.
wait, we got Dewey narrating too.
Well, Dewey's the car. I mean, so we assume that
Wait.
it's Dewey.
Nellie Bell has Dewey's voice. Nellie Bell's never known anything but Dewey. So
Whoa.
in
Okay,
narration terms, the only voice that Nellie Bell knows is Dewey's. So therefore, Nellie Bell has Dewey's voice.
Holy shit! I mean, I gotta go back and read through all of this
Yeah.
because this whole time I'm doing a 75-year-old lady's voice in my head. I'm assuming she's talking to Dewey. That's gonna be kind of confusing, guys. I gotta say.
Yeah, well,
like,
maybe we don't call it Nellie Bell. I mean, maybe, like, who knows? Or maybe we do. Maybe that's what he calls the car.
Well,
But
that's the name of the car. That's what he calls the car.
But somehow at the end, we realized that it wasn't
Well-
Dewey narrating his story. It was a
You
story
guys-
being told by the car.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a lot of backstory written in here that doesn't seem to appear on the page. Then, so
Yeah.
in terms of translating this, because there's this, you got this car, this Nellie Bell the car, has personality and voice of Dewey. I guess I skipped over that note. That's my bad. But I don't know. It seems like it would be way more useful to have an old lady speaking a lot of the time. Because Dewey strikes me as a character who doesn't speak a lot, which maybe would be the irony of why he narrates the cars. So, yeah, I could go.
And it can go either way because
So yeah, I don't know. Fuck.
because that's the point of this whole beating it out is like that could go either way. We could reveal that later. That maybe the narration is what's her name? Who's our BFF, the conservative lady? Grace. So it could be Grace.
Yeah, and then we just get rid of the Nellie Bell character altogether. Part of the fun of it was having Nellie Bell be revealed at the end as the story. The story was actually Nellie Bell telling the story about these people that Nellie Bell cared about before Nellie Bell got scrapped.
Well,
Having carted old people around for 40 years.
I'm still soaking it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm still soaking it in, but I'm on board because it's kind of got a rosebud vibe to it, you know.
Yeah.
Rosebud.
Which is a prolapsed asshole.
Yes.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
what that movie I think was about, which is why he said the word rosebud in that movie. But yeah, no, I mean, as I'm working this concept into my mind, it's quite feasible to, because I don't know any old ladies. I mean, I guess you guys said you knew someone, but yeah, you could easily, it would be kind of funny, or it could be useful to have Sprig be kind of a silent but deadly type, in real life, but then you also hear his voice the whole time because he's narrating.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I mean, I misunderstood. I missed that line that said that the voice of Dewey. That was a big line to miss on my part. But hey, man, I can dig it.
Well, it's hard, and it's hard to bring somebody in to the fold when we've already fleshed out all this stuff and we're just saying, hey, real quick, in 30
absolutely.
seconds, read this.
Especially
read these notes.
it's hard to bring someone in when there are so many folds. I need to check out all these folds. I'm handling folds here, guys. Excuse me.
Right. All these folds.
Yeah.
Well, you were thrust into this unexpectedly. So
And one thing I had thought when we were fleshing out some of these ideas was, one of my favorite shows as a kid was the Dukes of Hazzard, and whenever Waylon Jennings would we could be totally enthralled in the story with the with the Duke boys or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
Go to commercial, and then they can immediately take you into some other. And Waylon Jennings would just say, and then the boys did this, and it takes you on a whole new path.
Yeah, that is something we should do. Like, you should do cutaways or just misdirects where it's Nellie Bell, but like in her heyday, like when she's like, you could actually literally do that, do freeze frames, or do like a weird, like instead of a commercial, do a cutaway of Nellie Bell like involved in a bank robbery or something like that. Like, people just like firing Tommy guns out windows or some crazy shit like that. You could even do like a montage of Nellie Bell getting lit up with some bullet fire and then like being retouched and bondoed and painted, like hide the past. And like, you could definitely, I think that I might have taken that too literally, but I do like the idea of actually Dukes of Hazzarding Nellie Bell throughout the
yeah, it's really not,
because like,
and if we did that, Nellie
right?
Bell could be a
It's an older
totally
car.
different voice and a totally different character, because Nellie Bell would be the car and the car would be whatever the car is. So yeah, in that regard, yeah, I guess we could do a totally different voice. It could be a woman, it could be a man, it could be whatever.
I mean, if we're fleshing it out, that's the way I read it initially, was Nellie Bell kind of as a kid character
Right.
Of Knight Rider having her own entity. And if you wanted to, I mean, that way you could add more history to the car, because she could be separate from Sprig. But I do also like the kinship between Sprig and Nellie Bell, because of whatever that scene is in the middle where we start at, where
Right.
they're both bonded together by trauma, basically PTSD. That's cool, because they're kind of, she's a car, an old car that needs maintenance, and he's an autistic dude who fixes stuff. So unbeknownst to them, they become fast friends.
Okay. Unbeknownst to them, they became fast friends 40 years ago? Or he just bought the car yesterday?
Whenever that scene was, we actually don't know. It's wherever you want to put that scene at, because that's where you're starting the story. Is like they're something traumatic, and he somehow saves the car, and so because she's an older vehicle, she has a loyalty,
Right.
to that sort of act, I guess.
I
don't
kind of,
know.
yeah, I don't see the car being that integral. Like we won't really reveal the car being the narrator until the end.
As a
That's
cute thing.
You don't need to. I mean, that's just it. Like, you can kind of use that, because I think that, like, I'm with you. I'm with the slow the late reveal, but you could almost, like, as sort of a movie magic, you start out like she's just the narrator of the movie, or whoever this voice is narrates the movie, and we don't realize it's the car until the very end. But it starts, it's kind of like a Sixth Sense thing, or where hey, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. So
All right.
it turns
Let's
out that you were listening to the
Bruce
car
Willis?
the whole time, and you
Wait,
didn't
what?
know it. But I'm down with the reveal. What?
Did you
Did
say Bruce Willis?
was dead the whole time?
He was. I'm sorry, dude. I just ruined that movie for you so hard.
No, I didn't even understand that movie. Shit.
What if
I was like, at the end, I was like, where's the twist?
What if, at the end of our movie, we reveal that Bruce Willis is dead?
Okay, that'll be our final image.
That'll be our final image.
Well,
Rest
that's
in
gonna be our
peace,
mirror
Bruce
image of our
Willis.
opening image. Yeah. Lesson learned.
Rip Bruce.
I'm all about. I'm so on board with ripping off plot points from other fiction.
Right.
So I'm on board with this idea.
Right on.
I love it.
So let's do. Let's get straight into our Save the Cat. Terry, why don't you walk us through, explain a little bit about Save the Cat, what it is, and where we're kind of launching this off from.
Okay. So I
What's
guess, yeah, there's a book called Save the Cat, and it's written by a dude named Blake Snyder. And he wrote a bunch of movies, like probably in the 90s. Sold them all for like a shit ton of money. But he said that like most movies follow a certain formula, and that they, you know, you can break the rules. When you know the rules, then you can break them, kind of thing. But for the most part, a lot of them follow these same story beats or plot points.
Okay.
So the image that I pulled up is kind of the, you know, where you want to be. You know, they want screenplays usually are around 100 pages or so.
Right.
Anywhere from 90 to 120 pages. So within a certain few pages, you want to have established your tone and your theme, and then set up what's going to happen throughout the screenplay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
unless you're some artsy bullshit.
Yeah, and a lot of, and even like movies like Memento, which was kind of funky, and it went back and forth, and it didn't have like a linear storyline. There's a lot of movies like that.
Beyond the Black Rainbow. Holy shit.
No,
That's like Space Odyssey times 30.
Beyond the
Oh
Black
man.
I'll check it
Beyond
out.
the Black Rainbow. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. It's like an artsy film that was released like 10 or 15 years ago. It is just entirely, like, you want to talk about texture and all that. That's all it is. It's entirely up its own ass the whole time. And if you're into that sort of thing, enjoy. Have at it. It's like what's the that movie about the guy, the genius dude who lived out in the woods and built Ex Machina. That's the movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ex Machina. So Beyond the Black Rainbow is like Ex Machina if it dropped acid.
All
What
right.
what does Ex Machina mean?
That's my from
Ex
the
Machine.
machine.
Well, that's what
it?
Do Ex Machina is, actually. That's the
Well,
plot
that's God from the
device.
machine.
I think
God
it dates
from
back
machine.
to like Socrates or
But Ex
something like
Machina-
that. The idea of the machine somehow saving the day or whatever,
Right, and telling the story from
Well,
that perspective.
which was an idea from Ed Fonts, by the way. We need
Yeah.
to.
Well, I think that's the conceit of
that
the
in mind.
movie is that there is no God and it's just the machine, Ex Machina.
Right, and we don't have to stick with this Machina theme,
No.
but
Oh yeah,
it is a unique. It is pretty unique. I mean, I think I want to be everything in this movie. I want
Yes.
there to be a sweet love story. I want there to be a sweet story between these two friends. You know, I mean, you can have all this stuff happening throughout the 110 pages or whatever.
But our next one is just going to be slathered in tits.
Well, yeah,
I think it should be called Slathered in Tits.
Slathered
also,
in
while we're at it.
tits. Slather them up. We need a good name.
Like, slathered tits, slathering life. Like it's a big slather fest. It's just slather on slather action. Like
Slather them up, Mabel. Daddy's coming home.
Yeah. Let's even bring Nellie Bell back with her slathered headlights.
Yes, just barbecue sauce on the titties.
That's
There
good
you go.
eating right there.
Yeah,
I'm
it
talking
ain't bad.
about
It ain't
all
bad.
right.
like more tits.
All right,
But,
Terry.
Yeah.
So definitely our opening theme, like, you know, these are the different beats that he suggests that you have in a story, which is the opening theme or opening image, the theme, the catalyst or the setup to your story, then the catalyst, which is what gets them catapulted to go on this journey. The debate, so what choices are they going to have to make to continue along this path? And then somewhere kind of maybe a quarter of the way through the movie or the script, we're going to have to change it up and add some new situation to it, like new challenges,
Right.
whether or not they're going to continue going to Vegas to get for her to
Military.
get awards. Yeah,
Bring in the military.
that we could bring in the military.
That's what jumps to mind to me. You got vehicular domain, basically. You got the military coming in. Maybe they recruit some folks, some Nelly Bell. It gets the ante gets upped. I don't know, or not.
Right. But yeah, we want to up the ante, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's got to raise the stakes.
Military, aliens, maybe
Yeah.
aliens.
And then the B, the B story, we were kind of thinking could be the Dewey being in love with our protagonist, or just the friendship between these two ladies taking off. We could, or a combination of all that. So the first, the roommate is conservative, and there's no way if she knew that they were going to the Adult Video News Awards, would she go through with this road trip? But maybe she finds out partway through and has a change of heart.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is so reading through these summaries, I totally, yeah. And I think that we have something covered for most of these points already. I mean, I think that the story is sort of done as far as if we wanted to fill in each one of these lines with just one sentence that summed up
Yeah.
what that was. I think that we could probably capture that. Don't
Right.
you?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Because then once we flesh this out, a rough draft, we're going to go back through anyway and say, well, I like how this flows. I don't like this. What if we add this shit?
Right.
So
That's what I want to see, because you basically got your kiddie pool of characters here, and I want to see them. I want to see them swimming down them lanes. So I'm interested to see how the rubber meets the road, to use a pun, and because that's really you got a lot to draw from here. So let's see what you start making these characters do on the page there. I'll read that.
Set up.
It's my internet just taking a giant shit right now. God damn
yeah,
it. Anyway, no, you got a good start here. So yeah, fire away with the script writing. Tappity tap. Let's see this thing.
So the background for the story is just going to be when they're back there, we explain Judy, we explain Grace, we explain Dewey, we kind of show the interactions of all of them and how they grew to know each other. We montage a lot of the beginning stuff in order to get us to a certain point where we actually kick off the story. So really the first 10 minutes of the story is a montage of our three main players and their interactions with the two who will end up being the protagonists.
You could
Or antagonists, rather.
you could really play with the mislead. Like you could do a lot of misleads depending upon what you're gonna shoot in terms of like creating a backstory for the car, because this car is already old by the time we meet it. So you could definitely do a montage of explanatory footage.
Did you say the
or
car?
Confusing footage. Huh?
Did you say of the car?
Did I say the car?
Yeah, did you say something about the car in that?
I think so.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah, just in general.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, the car.
I win.
Yeah, you done did it.
I gotcha.
You
Now nobody
derailed
knows
me,
what
you son
anybody
of a
was
bitch.
talking about anymore.
Yeah, guy lost interest in his own train of thought. Asshole. Yeah. No.
Let's-
No, that was it. Like, if you're gonna do a montage, you can make up any. You can just bullshit. Is basically my point. You could
Yeah.
just shoot nonsense footage and create that as part, and then the last thing you show is the relevant part, which is Dewey Dewey and the car meeting and forging their relationship.
Okay,
and
let's
then
not
cut to the
worry. We're
beginning
not
of
going
the
to worry
story.
about the car anymore. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to worry about the car.
Okay.
From this point forward, they're taking bus places. We're going to
There's no
see,
more.
because I'm worried that you're getting too caught up in the relationship with the car and the story. The car was just supposed to be a little sprinkle of stuff over the top of it.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're
feel free-
fine.
Feel free to peel the car on out of there. I'm definitely writing around the car, and I don't
Dude,
mean to
Of
bastardize
course
your
you're riding
story.
around the car. You're Jason Emery. That's what your humor is, and that's why you're brilliant. Of course you're riding around the car.
Okay.
And I need you to
Hey.
stop talking us out of this, because we're going to end up
And we
writing
led-
your goddamn script if you keep going
Like,
at
and we
it.
also, and I
Because they're
think we also
normally good
led,
ideas.
we led with the car. So that's the, so I would say that's the only obvious, that would be the first thing I would go to.
Amen.
Hey, you're all good. Hey, screw it. The car's gone. Never mind the car. Let's
The
focus
bus
on
is
story.
hanging
Louis
over a
Spriggs,
cliff.
he's the autistic. Yeah. Then we're interested. But
Right. Well, and you know what? We could scrap that. As we write this out, we could be like, you know what? That's a dumb fucking idea.
Right.
They stole the little bus that they get all the people around in the assisted living facility.
Yeah.
You know.
We accept that where we're going isn't possibly the right answer, and most of it could change and may change.
Well,
We just want to get the initial journey down so
No.
that we can start tweaking the knobs and making it turn into the creature we want it to, right?
absolutely. Hey,
The big
and
greasy tits.
I'm here for that, and I feel bad if I have derailed that mission in any way, because my aim is to, yes, definitely tweak the tits, get the biggest titties possible,
Right.
with the most stretched out areolas we can get, like just insanely clownishly stretched out areolas, big old nipples. Let's slap those titties. That's what I'm here for.
Well, let me.
Wait, Terry's got a note up here. I got it. Tweak the tits.
Tweak the tits. Well, let me just go
Correct.
ahead and say that
That's accurate.
in the almost
Going in
one
the
full
notepad.
hour that we've been on, we've had 0 viewers. So you haven't derailed anything. We
Right.
were never
Oh, good.
on.
Thank
We
you.
were never on the rail to begin with.
It's like
so
a-
you're totally fine.
It's like a big empty train that was derailed, and someone's just like, "Oh, don't worry, it wasn't carrying anything."
It's more like the
Right.
it's more like the Christopher McCandless or whatever his name is bus in Alaska.
All right, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm on
Call the
board.
wild.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm derailed. No, that's good. I'm glad that I haven't affected anybody's schedule for today. There's a lot of adults who have
Oops.
families to greet when they get home. They're busy with their jobs, and I don't want to influence that in any way.
Oh no, nope.
No.
Our viewership can't drop below what it is, so you're in good shape.
Nowhere to go but up from here,
Yes.
fellas.
We had the talk. We were gonna have the talk in front of you, but we just sat with our thumbs up our assholes for half an hour waiting for you to show up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's my bad.
Dude, you're fine. We could have told you at any time, hey, jump in the call.
That's
we
true.
we already knew that you were missing it for I don't know, certain green reasons. Greensons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was definitely smoking some kind. We got some wax over here. Got
All
some
right.
wax
All
putting on
right.
my bowls. That's
Remember,
not nice.
remember, we have 0 viewers, so be careful what you say.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to offend.
Speaking of wax, Terry,
Any of the
are you want to
non-viewers.
bring up our line of handmade candles?
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking about adding merch.
Hand dipped candles.
Yeah, just making handmade candles, but then either we come up with one-liner puns, or crazy scents,
We should.
or motivational quotes
Yeah.
that are just bogus.
How about cantles? CAN apostrophe D.
What about cuntles?
Cantles. Well,
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow already has the market pinned on
She
that.
does.
Cornered on that.
Yeah.
She
But-
has something called a cuntle.
She
Well-
has a candle that's flavored
Smells
like
like
her
her
vagina.
vajayjay. Yeah.
That smells like her vagina.
It doesn't really. The story is that
It doesn't really.
that there
I
was a
smelled her
candle
vagina,
that
and
her
the candle smells
yeah, I've
absolutely
smelled
nothing
too.
like that.
No, it's different. Her vagina smells terrible. No, her
candle.
Imagineers, her Imagineers created a candle, and then she smelled it, and she was like, "Oh, that smells like my pussy," and they're like, "Oh, cool, let's sell that." Like, all right, this is goop.
Is that really how it happened?
Do it. That's how it happened. Like that, it's that she just there was a candle. That
Did she say it's
smelled
because
good
she
to-
front wipes?
Hopefully, you know.
She's wiping
God bless her.
poop across her lips. Is that why it
Maybe.
smells so weird?
Yeah,
Back
someone.
off.
Yeah, it could be. That could
Does
be
she got a
like
poopy
what's so
puss?
unique about them. Because I find it hard to believe that Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina smells much different from another vagina. You know, they're all vaginas.
What if we have a candle called Gwyneth Shitter, and it just smells like it smells like a fart?
Monkey farts.
What if
Yeah.
it's Gwyneth Shitter and it smells
Yeah.
like roses? It smells like rose petals and hope.
Could call it like brown flower or something like that.
Rosebud?
Gwyneth's brown
Oh.
flower.
Yeah.
Dude, our fragrance line should be called Gwyneth. And we can just
Yeah, no.
the whole line could be
absolutely.
just objectifying.
We should.
Whoa! We're not objectifying here. Stop.
No, we're glorifying.
Not objectifying. Glorifying.
Glorifying. Yeah.
That's right.
God damn
And
it.
This
we need
is an honor.
we need just a little simple logo that kind of has like a resemblance of her face, just a little.
Yeah.
Almost
No,
like the
yeah.
Lucille Ball picture where it looks like Lucille Ball, or Jerry Lewis has one, I
Like-
think.
Our goal should be to be sued by Goop. Like we should try to get sued by Goop. That would be a bump. Like I don't know if any of us can afford it. Maybe we create an LLC
LLC, yeah.
just in preparation. Yeah, we'll create Gwyneth the LLC, and then we'll just totally troll Gwyneth Paltrow. And when Goop sues us, we'll all just walk away with our hands up. Like I don't.
Gwyneth,
Yeah, we don't know.
Gwyneth
We just
LLC.
we just spent $100 to register this name and this
Hey, man.
LLC.
Just 5 minutes on the internet, $100 later, we got Gwyneth LLC. Not our problem.
That's right.
I wonder if that exists.
I'm
It's,
sure,
it's
but-
one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, it's so elegant that it might not, you know? It's like one of those, it's like it's like a mushroom that hasn't been plucked in the wild
Right.
for too long. It's like, wow, how did no
It's
one
like-
think of this yet?
Yeah, how come no one thought to get leftovers with only one E?
Yeah, exactly. No, that was perfect too, by the way. Like, you know, it's got to be misspelled because it's an app. So leftovers with one E.
GWENYTH or GWENETH are
I
two
think it's
alternate
GWY.
spellings of Gwyneth that aren't
Well,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Hers is Y. She spells hers with a Y.
Yes, GWY. So if we pick a GWE in any fashion, we can do it.
Or you could do an I. You could do some other fucked up vowel there, yeah, if you wanted to. So then that immediately removes. It immediately becomes parody
Yeah,
because
Yep.
we're not using your name.
absolutely. And then if
Done.
they try to call
Legal-
us out on the
Legally
mascot,
protected.
if they try to call us out on the mascot, then we can say no because our mascot's not a dumb bitch.
See, that's the
See the
difference.
difference?
Like, yeah, she's blonde, she's tall, she's skinny, she's an actress, not a dumb bitch though.
Not a dumb bitch. No, no, no. Our Gwyneth isn't a dumb bitch.
Oh,
That plays
I like
so
it.
good. Oh man, that's gonna look so good.
yeah, misogyny is just only one of my many strong suits.
I don't know if that's misogyny though, is it?
No, no, don't
Be
even.
empowerment.
What's that?
I feel like we're empowering women.
By
agree.
calling Gwyneth a dumb bitch? Well, by
No, we're
saying that our
empowering
Gwyneth isn't a dumb
our
bitch.
Gwyneth.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah,
And,
all
and
other
also
women.
we're giving license to women to judge each other as dumb bitches also, which, that feels important to me.
Men
That's
judge each
empowering.
other as dumb bitches all day long. I don't know what the
I
difference
guess they
is.
do, but I want to bring that mainstream, because everyone's like,
He said,
"Oh,
I guess
Elizabeth
we
Warren,
do.
she's so Elizabeth Warren, she's so bitchy." It's like, well, that's good. Good for her. Bitch it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bitch it up. Wet ass pussy. You did it, girls. Wet pussy.
Wet foot.
This is the show no one watches, babe. We're fine.
Bitch it up. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what
All right.
we were supposed to be talking about, but now it's this.
Let's get back on track. There's Gwyneth and alternate spellings that I've just shown to the world.
It's like 5
We need-
spellings of Gwyneth.
All
We
right.
need choices for our antagonist or protagonist. Judy.
Bring along the
Professional
friends. Dewey, kindness, and using Dewey's. Yep. Dewey has to make the decision on if he's going to go as well, or if he's going to go along with it.
So we got Grace. Grace is the well, that's what. Okay. This. I was skimming over these notes. That's what probably got me off on the wrong track, because you've got your Grace is 75. She's an old lady, and then you got your car, which late 70s. Or wait, no, that's Dewey. You got your, and so I think that's where I got my. So our protagonist is Grace.
No, our protagonist is Judy.
Judy.
Judy's the we think we're gonna lead
Oh.
from Judy,
Shit. Okay.
who is the
Sorry.
lady she's the porn star that's getting inducted into she's given a lifetime achievement award or whatever.
Big. Wow. Yeah, all right. Wow. I really just sort of snuggled into the end of these notes and just really made my nest here at the very
Okay.
last page.
That's all good.
My mistake. There's a whole bunch of other notes that I skimmed past. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and so Grace is her
okay.
friend from the nursing home, but she's
Judy is
conservative.
also.
Dewey's what?
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. I'm back on board. I'm on board now with they got the two older friends there. Bunch of names. Oh. Patty Packer. That's a pretty good one.
Patty Packer.
Yeah, we're thinking about whatever her names were back in
Uh,
her stage name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She would be like a burlesque, because they wouldn't have. She would
Maybe
have
it was
been
Gwyneth.
Live.
Gwyneth Gapes.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Gapes.
Gwyneth Gapes.
I like
Gwyneth
that.
Gapes.
Yeah,
She
I want to
gapes.
say they probably weren't talking too much about gaping anything back in her day.
Well, that's why she was a pioneer.
She was a pioneer.
So what would be?
She was the first person
well,
that you could say
like-
echo into her asshole and it would come back.
I mean, yeah, it's. I hear what Terry's saying, and I also hear what you're saying, Jake. You have to dial it in. You could, like, because back in the day, like Skippy Gwyneth would be a sultry name. I'd be like, oh, she's skipping around. Oh my goodness, with her legs. So yeah, like, Gwyneth Gapes. That's definitely pushing the envelope. I think we're all here for that.
Okay.
Or
What about
just depends
Gwyneth
upon-
Gash?
That might be a little too.
That's
I don't
too
know.
much
I think
too?
Gapes is. I think Gapes is like 50% of Gash.
Huh. I'll be darned.
Yeah, I did the math.
Arlen. I wish I would have looked that up. I feel foolish. I'm sorry. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
What is this?
No, I mean it's an honest mistake. No, again, you know, it's your guy's character. If she wants to be Gwyneth Gash in our past life,
No,
in like the
so
50s.
here's the thing. Terry is never going to allow that to happen in a million years. I'm going to try like hell to get farts and people shitting their pants and Terry will push back on that and we'll end up having a really sweet story as a result of it. But it's fun to say.
The guy with the beef flaps joke
The same guy.
is censoring us.
That's what I'm saying.
Jeez.
No,
Wow.
I'm not
I did not see
censoring
this
anyone.
coming.
Actually, I'm not censoring anyone. You spit out all the ideas, and then whatever makes it to paper makes it to paper.
That's right.
That's right.
Nothing you
That's
can do
not
about it.
censoring. That's just not using your shitty
the same.
ideas.
That's
I
the
get it
same
all the time.
policy exact same policy I have with toilet paper. Whatever makes it to paper.
I mean,
Whatever makes it. Yeah, whatever sticks.
like when I say that I want to make a movie about people just farting their dialogue and having it subtitled of what their farts mean and force people to watch it, I mean it. I mean it like with all my heart.
Well,
Terry just
see-
won't ever allow me to do it.
See, and here's where I want to just interject and say that when I say I'd like to pursue that project but make it part of the Idiocracy universe, I'm also not joking about that.
Oh, I know.
Because have you watched that? Have you done your homework yet? Have you studied up on
Yep,
the Idiocracy?
I watched
the
it.
Ass?
I saw
Yeah.
whatever Wilson brother that is sitting in the theater with a big old pair of butt
Yeah,
cheeks on the
it doesn't
screen just
matter.
farting in his face.
Owen or Luke, whichever one. There's
Yeah.
probably a third brother we don't know about.
The dark-haired one.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy. But
Right.
yeah, that's all I'm saying is like that's my only note is that I'm on board with creating an entire movie with but I want to make it an extension of the Idiocracy verse because I believe that will help us in promotion and it will also guide us in the accuracy of telling the story because there's already a framework there. Is what I'm
Right.
saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm about that.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no,
a
I'm on board.
Big fan of Idiocracy.
So it sounds to me
I've
like
never
I
seen
just
it,
got.
I don't think.
Sounds to me like Terry just got on board with this whole ass movie idea. So
Yeah, I think if we can write it around that Idiocracy, like as a prequel or a sequel.
yes,
Now, what?
It'd be a lot of fun.
Let me just stop the presses here. What made that the thing that was like, oh, dude, total buy-in, as opposed
Well-
to? So, what part of farting butt cheeks was like all of a sudden connected in your head that you were like, oh, it's
If I may.
such a good idea now?
it grounds it in reality.
Yeah, I think here's where I get it because before I couldn't conceptualize it other than like Terrence and Phillip,
Right.
that kind of thing. But Idiocracy is such a great movie about idiots,
Yeah,
and kind of like the collective, kind of like what was going
The
on.
purpose
yeah,
of the movie is to prove that the viewers are the idiots.
yeah. Well, that's what Idiocracy kind of did. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a movie about life, So I think that's where we're all. That's where Terry is clicking and connecting with this. Is now it's like, well, now it's real because you've already got this competently written semi-fiction about dumb people, and now it's got this this unfleshed out sort of narrative in the middle of it. It's a shame. I think honestly, it's a shame that no one has picked up the story and run with it. And we could really we could kill two birds with one stone. We write your story, and you can create all the characters you want, and then we marry it in with this
and it'll be executive produced by Mike
Idiocracy
Judge.
verse.
But there's
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Judge will be
Yeah,
our
we can
executive producer.
But there's
We can
one.
credit him, whether he
There's
likes it or
one thing
not.
that you guys are just missing from all of this. None of
Please.
it works if we can't do it at a film festival where people are forced to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
What-
Well,
how-
I'm sure this will go all the way to Cannes.
Yeah, I don't see how any of these ideas preclude that.
I'm not saying
Scenario.
we're going to Cannes. I'm saying that for the next 48-hour film festival, no
Wedges
matter
into-
what it is that they give us, I think that we film ass.
Yeah,
It's
I
called
mean, how
wedgies
hard
and-
is it to
It's called
just
wedgies and toots.
What's that say?
everybody just get
Farts, wedges, and toots, dude. Wedges and toots instead of veggies and fruits.
Yep.
like everybody everyone has an ass, and we all have decent lighting. We'll just go ahead and just film that, and then it'll just be videos of our asses, and then we'll cut that together with dialogue. It'll be great.
Yeah, but we have to do it within the 48 hours during a film festival so that we can
How long-
submit it and
how-
make people sit there and watch it.
How big is your ass? It takes more than 48 hours to fit. No, I'm just kidding around.
My ass, I think, is taller
I have a very tall
than it
ass.
is wide. Yeah, it's
Yes.
more of a high thing than it is in this way, I think. Does that
Actually,
make sense?
when my a novel story, when my grandfather came over and arrived in Ellis Island, he was his last name was Tall Ass, and he had to change it to Smith. So.
Okay. Stupid.
Yeah, no, just a little backstory there.
Okay. So Grace has a change of heart. Bring Nudie along. Well, she doesn't. I don't think Grace knows about the AVN yet. I think that Grace just knows that she's accepting an award, and she's pushing her to. Maybe Grace is the one pushing her to do it or something.
All right.
So this will be the point. Act 2. This is where they escape and then they move into the new future proposition, right?
Right.
Leave the old situation, enter the new one. And during that Act 2, we'll also have to obviously establish that that's not true. Secondary plot line would be, where would we introduce the two people from the facility looking for them in the car?
Oh yeah, like the whoever runs the joint. That might be in the B story or in Act 2, a combination of both.
Yeah. All of that has to happen in Act 2 because at a certain point, the midpoint after the promise of the premise,
Yeah,
story
'cause
A's and B's cross.
Right, and then the bad guys close in. That could be the people from the facility
Yep.
getting ready to bring them back.
Yep. Absolutely.
That could be when they capture ET and put him in the little.
Yep.
The bad guys close in when they capture ET.
So
What do you think
then,
ET would do these days? Would he phone home? He would text home, right? You'd be
I think
asking
so.
about like an iPhone.
Probably FaceTime them. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
like
just
it wouldn't
hit them up
Yeah.
on social media.
something because it wouldn't be as catchphrasey as ET phone home anymore because there's just too many ways that people
He'd make a
contact each
TikTok
other
video.
anymore.
no,
ET
everybody would just
TikTok.
stand there with their phones on them, recording them, and they'd just get picked up by the government instantly. That'd be it.
Yeah, it would be so lame. He would be like an instant celebrity because everyone would try to scoop him like instantly. They'd
He'd
all
just
be
die.
taking pictures, be like, hey, yeah, he would wilt from all the overexposure, and he would never
Absolutely.
even get a chance to like. No one would ever listen to be like, hey, we got this weird looking alien. Pass him around like a beach ball.
Right.
No, it would not end so well these days.
No, that guy wouldn't have a chance.
Nope. People are so thirsty. They weren't as thirsty back in the day, but now they're so thirsty.
GD, Pearson, this is loaded, going to the hunt for the, yep. And then, now, what is Promise of the Premise? I'm going to step out of frame for a minute.
Yeah.
Explain
What is this
Promise
movie
of the-
about?
Explain Promise of the Premise to us.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'm gonna Google that shit.
Okay.
All right.
Structure-wise, the promise of the premise comes during what Blake Snyder calls the fun and games part of the story. This is when you get to experience all the things that were promised. It's the reason most people came to watch the movie or decided to read the book in the first place.
So like the disappointing part of every M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right. Well, I
So
think
in
with
this
this
case, the promise of the premise is what? Getting to Vegas?
getting to Vegas, I mean, I think maybe they're enjoying Las Vegas. Like maybe Judy or Grace has never gambled, never been in, the Sin City before. So maybe they take in a show and watch, what's his name, Wayne Newton or somebody, or a magic show, and they
What's
do
the
all the fun shit that old ladies would
the-
do in Vegas.
what's the old lady equivalent of an Ocean's 11 movie? They could do that.
Depends 12. Depends 3.
Yeah,
Would,
it could be
would they
like
rob a casino?
they smuggle their own feces out of a casino. No,
Jesus.
yeah. They I'm just thinking like, or like The Hangover, somewhere between The Hangover and Ocean's 11, figuring out something they could do.
Yep. And
in
I
that
kind of
realm.
thought if we didn't set it in the 80s and we set it in modern day, they could hit a dispensary. They could then hit a buffet, things that they've never experienced. Maybe just they got completely baked and ate a bunch of food, and then maybe saw a show that they just laughed through the entire thing. Just like they spent a whole day after the dispensary
Well,
just baked and doing
I think that's a good
lady shit.
yeah. After the dispensary, that's key. You should definitely just put them in a dispensary eating some edibles, like they don't even know what they're doing. Like you make it out like they're like just sort of timidly eating these huge brownies, and they just get dosed, and then you can make the whole rest of the montage ridiculous because they're on drugs. You can make them talking to a dinosaur. You can do all sorts of shit, whatever you want. That's definitely where you should start off. Like, do a couple of scenes, and then do them just ingesting edibles, and then they just trip balls for a good few
Oh my
minutes.
god.
Yeah, I think anyway. Like, you want to just
So you
make
think
a
that
Vegas
that they have
montage.
like their fear and loathing moment?
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much kind of, yeah. So we'll say it's between The Hangover, Ocean's 11, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is where this plot sort of takes them.
All 3 of them, because Dewey's with him too, right?
Somewhere. Then maybe they commit a crime while they're on drugs. Yeah. No, shit in Vegas, whatever you guys want, but they should definitely be high while they're doing it.
What if
Leaving Las Vegas.
what if they pierce their boobs?
What if they what?
Huh?
Pierce their boobs.
Yeah.
What if they all
Should.
get nipple rings?
Nipples.
Yeah,
Dewey-
that's
Dewey
definitely
too.
like, I don't know how you like, you can actually shoot that practically, because you could just like have an old woman squinting, and then it'd be very easy to make an old looking boob flopped out of like, practical paper mache or something, whatever you want. Use a rubber chicken and draw a nipple on it and just like use part of it, but for sure, nipple piercings.
Yeah.
On board with that.
Okay, probably not pierce nipples.
Well,
Well,
all right.
it could be. I mean, all that could be part of it. So, I like the whole sweet story idea and everything, but also, one of my favorite movies is Something About Mary, and
Uh-huh.
it was a sweet story, but it was also just completely ridiculous. Every one of those scenes, and the Farrelly brothers are just fucking, just hilarious. But every one of those ridiculous things that were going on through that movie with all those different characters still made it, when you watched it and you went back and watched it again, you noticed something else, that you were laughing about some shit that you
Right.
you didn't catch this other thing that was going on.
So what Terry wants to say is that Something About Mary had depth.
There were layers. It was such a deep movie.
What we want to do is make a rich, full, deep movie, like Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, with cum in the hair though.
Right?
Yes. Well, it wouldn't be a good movie or even a tribute without coming there.
No, I agree with you. A funny story. You guys know Adam Carolla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has this story about how, like, 2 or 3 years before There's Something About Mary came out, he had written a script that he pitched that had jizz in hair. Like, it was a similar joke. It was like someone came in someone's hair or something like that. and he was actually turned down and said no one's ever. Years later, something about Mary came out with a cum in the hair joke, and it was the most famous movie for like 5 years.
Right.
And today
Right.
we're talking. So it's just like, yeah, you never know. Who the fuck could have predicted that just coming in Gwyneth Paltrow's hair would have been like the blockbuster?
Right, and I don't think that was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Nope, you're exactly right. That wasn't.
Who was it? As
Not Drew Barrymore. Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. You're correct, but you can understand it could have been just as easily
gone
Gwyneth
either way.
Paltrow.
Right.
Yeah, really. She probably was like tried out for that part, and because she got turned down, she started Goop.
Goop. She was like, I'll show you guys.
I need to look this Goop up. I mean, I've seen it once. I think there was like a pair of sandals for $350.
Goop?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
No,
for flip
it's
flops.
like it's Goop. Like she'll sell your wife. I mean, she'll sell you a stone that you can put in your vagina if you have one, just for
Well,
whoever.
yeah, but I think she calls it a hoonary.
You're so stupid.
That's the technical term.
That's the callbacks we need, baby. That's the callbacks
That's
we
right.
need.
No, that's why. That's
What's
the
it called?
professionalism
Goop?
that we're all here for. Absolutely.
Goop?
Goop, a modern lifestyle brand. Ooh,
Yeah.
a summer drink. GP dreamed up. Goop.
What's the name of those little eggs that you put up in there?
Um.
I'm about to
They're
tell
like-
you.
Wall balls?
Yeah, they got a special foo name.
Mothballs? Did you say mothballs?
No, Benwall balls.
Oh, I think you said mothballs.
The jade egg, it's the yoni egg harnesses the power of yoni eggs harness the power of energy work, crystal healing, and a Kegel-like physical practice. Insert the egg into your vagina and feel the connection with your body by squeezing and releasing the egg.
Okay.
Dude.
You know what? I think it's pretty sexist that they direct you to place those stones in your vagina.
Right.
I feel
Well,
like
you
an
can put 'em
anus
anywhere.
is an equally yeah.
Yeah.
You put them right up your butt. Like why not? Like all three of us could have jade eggs up our butts right now, and I don't think that that's a problem.
Well, yeah. Step
I mean-
one, wash your egg with soap and water.
Dude,
After, place it in hot water for about 10 minutes and let it cool. Step two, gently insert the egg into your vagina like you would a
Ooh.
tampon. The slightly larger side of the egg first. Work your
Now,
pelvic
do
floor
I-
and feel the connection with your body by squeezing and releasing the egg.
Oh wow. I don't have a
Might be.
pelvic floor. I'm not sure if I have a pelvic floor.
Well, you might begin with a 10 to 15-minute session. If comfortable, build up a practice that brings joy and well-being to you. Until next time, clean your egg after use and before using it again. Keep it in or on a space that is sacred to you or has good vibes.
what on earth am I
What?
looking at?
I can't just pass the egg
Right, you just
to
can't
my life
pass it on
partner
to your friend.
without
Yeah.
rinsing it. I have to rinse it first. That doesn't.
Right here.
No, all right. Well, there's a lot of. Seems like these eggs seem like there's a lot of instructions with these eggs. I figured they'd just be more relaxed. If they just give me the egg.
And they're pre-drilled
That's all I
for
need.
string add-on, and they recommend using unwaxed dental floss.
Dude.
Wait, there's a hole in them so you can Benoit them.
So you can put a string on them.
What?
Holy
I would
shit!
just-
Like you just read
Put it around
that?
my neck. Yeah, I'm just gonna put one around my neck.
No, but like they're pre-drilled because people are like, yeah, we know that one isn't going to be enough for your dirty ass.
So
You gotta
what
be
is this?
stuffing yourself with these eggs.
What on earth?
Oh man, I like that. Just the hole in the middle of a jade egg is its own story. I want to explore that.
We need to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and put this fun and games and add that they that they go to the Goop store and buy some jade eggs.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. There's a Goop like the main shop is in Vegas probably for some reason. At least in our story, they oh my god, Gwyneth Paltrow's own like Goop brick and mortar store. Buy me some jade eggs.
The Tennis Pro vibrator?
Can you get a dozen jade eggs? I would love it if there was a little cardboard carton filled with jade eggs.
Let's see how much these are.
I'll have a dozen, please. My vagina is gigantic.
Excuse me, I have to do my morning exercises. Pulls out the egg carton, gets all 12 out.
These are $66 a piece. I'm gonna
Yep, nope.
or 4 easy payments of $15.50.
That's so dumb. Yeah, 66 bucks each. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but you can do 4 easy pays.
Right. Thank God.
I mean, you definitely want to see that repeated on your credit card over and over again. Jade, anus egg, third installment.
Janus.
We're gonna need to thin these. We're gonna need to thin these payments out a little bit. It's been a lean month. Need to stretch this out a couple more months.
Bro, we recommend using unwaxed dental floss, yeah? Okay.
God, really?
Pre-drilled for string add-on. I see what you're saying.
I didn't
now.
even know, like, I didn't know that the dental, I mean, it's very sturdy. It's probably the sturdiest, thinnest string when you think about it. So they've got a good, like, it's either dental floss or like fishing line.
Or maybe because it
I
has
bet
wax.
fishing line gets used. I bet fishing line gets used a lot more than dental floss.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe
Yeah.
so.
I mean, you know, because you don't think about dental floss. It makes sense, but practically speaking, I think most of the people stuffing multiple Benoits up themselves. They've
So
got
maybe the question needs to be asked during the film, how do I tie the other end of the string around my cervix?
yeah.
Because there's no way
I
I'm
think so.
keeping this
I
in
think
with
that's a
just
question.
vaginal pressure. I
Yeah,
can barely
well, no,
keep air
not-
out.
I heard that. So Grace or Judy, one of them is consulting perhaps a much younger woman who's the sales consultant and asking these questions to her. Like, because I don't want these eggs to just fall right out of me. So yeah, how do I secure multiple eggs inside of my, I don't know. Anyway, you get it.
Oh man, it's gonna be so fun when we get canceled.
Looking forward to it.
Sweatpants, $180. Crew neck sweatshirt, $325. Monroe shorty bar necklace, $2,750.
Right.
Oh, what's a necklace?
Flip flops, $110.
Huh. Well, it's a
flip-flops
lifestyle
suck.
thing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like Nike for vaginas.
Vajayki.
This is a
well, this is
lifestyle
a
brand.
skirt. This is a $500 skirt.
I'm digging this croc leather tote that's $995
Like,
or $955.
There should be a ceiling on skirt prices. They should stop at $50 because all you did was make fabric into a loop. That's what you did. You didn't like the skirt has got to be the least garment ever. Like a kimono is more of a garment than a skirt.
Right.
Because at least it wraps around itself and you can do stuff with it. But a skirt, you just put it on and that's it. Like it's just it's just a tube. Insulting. $500 for a skirt. That's insane. I could make a skirt. I've never made a garment in my life since home ec in middle school, and I could make a skirt today. I could make a skirt. I guarantee you.
But would
all-
it look good?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all about. It's like, how good does a guy look in an undershirt? Well, it depends on how good looking the guy is. Same with the lady in a skirt.
Huh. I don't know. I think we take you up on that challenge. I think that you sew a skirt for us. Waist
I'd
down.
love to.
Waist
I'd love
down.
To do that. I've got a
Floor
bunch of-
length. It should bell out at the bottom.
I'm just gonna.
Piping
I am literally just. I'm just gonna
and
troll you.
two
I'm just
pleats
gonna-
two pleats down the front.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna troll you, and I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna take a shirt, and I'm gonna cut the top off
Right.
of it, and then it'll be done.
Yeah.
Because
I
it'll
know.
just be a tube made out of the bottom of a shirt, and if an attractive woman puts it on, it will look good.
What about an
Guaranteed.
unattractive woman?
It won't look good
Why not?
because she's not attractive.
Unattractive to you. All I'm
What
saying.
you defined her as unattractive. This is your definition.
Oh no. I thought that she was beautiful all along. I always understood her.
Twist. Jet. He would have fucked her the entire time. This is a twist.
Not fucked.
Oh, respect.
Well, first of all, I
With
would
your
have
penis.
handed my wife a knife and she would have slashed all of her tires.
Oh,
So she wouldn't be driving around. Right?
but there's
Kinda
some energy. Sounds like a three-ways coming up here with this lady in the this unattractive lady in the dress. This lady who I find unattractive, but to you is very attractive.
Yeah, but I'm not there. I understand that there's
Oh.
nothing wrong with her, and maybe if you talk to her, you'd start to maybe see what she's actually made of.
Well, maybe I did talk to her, and that was what made her unattractive to me. It's hard to say.
Well, that's a deficiency in you because she's beautiful.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Inside,
The world will never know. But no, I'm sure she's a nice lady, this theoretical woman.
you got
Inside now.
it. Good. She got it. Here's the problem. The audience for all of my humor is my wife, and she's just as fucked up as I am in a lot of regards. So
Yeah. She looks pretty normal, but she's married to you, so that's a red flag.
she's super duper normal.
If you say so.
She is. You're super normal, aren't you, babe?
Just a boring old bag of shit.
That's right. You're just a bag of shit.
Bagofshit.com.
That's right. Bagofshit.com. All right, back on task.
What?
We were down to midpoint. Assisted living, bad guys close in. Assisted living, people take Dewey back and call the authorities, snag the ladies. Ooh. Okay. Ladies are in custody for stealing the car. Ladies put in a hotel until they can be sent back, guarded by police. Due to his terminal illness and dies. Sad shit. Eureka moment. Grace is let go by the fuzz. Oh no! They picked her up by her pubes?
What?
Right?
That was an old
That's
joke.
rude.
Two hookers are standing on a corner, and one says to the other, "You ever been picked up by the fuzz?" And the other one says, "No, but I got swung around by the titties."
Of course. You tell that joke.
Picked up by the fuzz, swung around by the titties, guys.
Good stuff.
This is my A game. I don't know why you guys aren't.
You're nailing it, babe.
Could you guys stand up real quick? I want to make sure that your sides are split in accordance with the humor level. Can I get a picture of both
I feel
of
like
your
there's
knees? Are there red marks?
feel like there's a bowling ball joke tag on there somewhere.
I don't know if I know any bowling ball jokes. That's the end of the story?
It's just someone gets bowling balled.
Bowling balls.
Dark Night
Yeah.
of the Soul, Eureka moment, finale,
You know,
problem solved.
Hey, humble brag, you guys. My high score in bowling is a 300.
Is that true?
Well,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I bowled it when I was 17 years old.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, youngest person in Franklin to bowl a 300. Officially, what's funny about that is my friend at the time, who was a year younger than me, 16 years old, had bowled a 300 a few weeks earlier out of league, so it didn't count. He always hated that.
Oh, unofficial.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Like I got interviewed by the local paper and everything, and the guy I even talked to, I told him, I was like, you know, my friend bowled 300 like a few weeks ago. He's like, but it was out of the league. I was like, yeah, okay, well that doesn't count. I'm like, really? It's the same fucking thing. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It was funny, but yeah, no, I did. I got a ring. I lost the ring. I think I still have a patch somewhere around here. Yeah, but yeah, no.
I'll be
Local
darned.
legend over here. Just, you know,
That's cool.
Who gave you the ring?
I forget. Now who the fuck sanctioned that? Yeah, who gave me a ring? But I don't remember. And yeah, I done lost the thing.
Was
so-
it like the junior PBA or anything, or junior? Like what is the league?
Do you think like Roy Munson, they talk about you and how you were going to be this savior of Franklin bowling, and
Sure.
and
I'm sure there's some like creepy.
now you're
they
just a
probably
fucking
died.
weird podcast host that does comedy and shit?
Yeah, like, well, the people who would talk about that would be dead by now. But yeah, 10 years ago or so, they were probably producing some kind of content about like, the savior of Franklin, he failed us. He never panned out. He didn't become what he was supposed to. Like, yeah, I'm sure that there
He
was
peaked
that.
at 17.
Yeah, peaked at 17. They expected great things from me, and I let them all down.
We thought he was going to be something.
sorry.
Now he's just happy.
You know, I only like bowling slightly more than golf as far as consistency. Like I'll golf like once every couple of years, and I'm like, oh, I hit a ball. I'm like, oh, that was cool. And then the next 3 holes, I'm like, God, this fucking sucks. Bowling,
Yeah.
I'll throw like 3 or 4 strikes, and then I'll gutter like the whole rest of the the next 5 frames.
No, man. I mean, bowling was like that was like my childhood because my dad bowled just casually, so he did like weekly bowling, and he doesn't, other than like there weren't a lot of features to grasp onto on my dad, so bowling just kind of became my sister and my identity when we were young, up until like high school or so. My sister and I were just bowlers. Like we just bowled. Every week we bowled. We had bowling balls. We had bowling shoes. We were bowlers, and
All
she was pretty good too. I think her high score was like a 270 something or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But
Damn.
even my dad has never bowled a 300, so I still got that over. I'm like, take that, old man. But yeah, no, it's weird to think back because I haven't bowled for like years and years. But when I was a kid, bowling was the thing. That's what we did.
Huh. Yeah, no, I didn't have...
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't like... Well, it's not that I don't like bowling. It's like... If somebody like came to the house tomorrow and said, oh, man, terrible news, all the bowling alleys are gone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'd be the same.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just...
Not
I don't
really necessary. There's a duck pin bowling alley downtown here that's been there for
Yeah.
like a year or two now.
Oh, yeah.
It's still going. I'm like, who the fuck duck pin bowls? That's weird.
Yeah, there's that one in Fountain Square that's been around for 80 years,
Yeah.
probably.
So weird. It's like someone's like, you know what bowling is missing? More bowling.
More balls. Yeah.
Said no
More
one ever.
pins.
Like,
More
it's like,
pins and smaller balls.
yeah, I need bowling to be more like bowling.
Dude. I can't believe you bowled a 300. That is...
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a good
that's not nothing.
Yep.
I tell you what, 1 or 2 of those strikes were certainly uggo. I remember while I was bowling it, like there was like the 9th or 10th strike. They were ugly as fuck, but I'm like, I'll take it. It's still a 300.
So, do you think there's ever been a Doc Ellis of bowling that's done a 300
What?
a perfect game on acid?
Oh.
Probably.
Doc Ellis
I mean,
pitched a no hitter. Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when you talk to like, so it's probably just because I stopped bowling that I haven't bowled another 300. Because if you talk to people who bowl enthusiastically for years, they'll tell you about multiple 300 games and other high scores. So for sure, someone like that has got some stories about, oh man, I bowled this 300 while I was like just tripping balls.
I'm
Can't
sure.
even remember. I thought I was like slaying dragons the whole time. I'm sure. There's stories like, I hope there's stories like that.
I
We need to
hope-
write that screenplay.
Man, I hope there are. That'd be a
We
fun
need to write that
screenplay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Kingpin
yeah,
on
so-
acid.
hey, there you go. Write it up. If it didn't exist now, before now it does, because
Do you think you could animate
like
a bowling alley turning into a mouth, and the pins turning into things, and him going down the trip of increasing intensity? Is there a way to animate that you know of? Because you're a graphic designer.
I've never done anything like that, but that's like really, it just becomes a product of how decent your imagination is at that point, because you're just making up imagery. Like, like it brings to mind, remember in The Big Lebowski, when you got the 3 German guys dressed up in unisuits with their scissors?
Yeah.
It's like, how stupid was that? But it definitely conveyed the message. So like, yeah, like, I've never animated something like that. I theoretically could, and it would be interesting to try. But yeah, I'm just trying to think about that. Like, that would be very near and dear to my heart. Bowling alley turning into a mouth.
Do you think we could write a 90-minute script of some woman bowling a perfect game while going like on an acid trip, with the end just everything in colors and people lifting her overhead and her ascending up into the sky, and that's just where it ends at. That's it. Just
You could definitely, actually, as a storytelling device, the idea of a bowling game and bowling a perfect game, in between each frame, when she returns to the ball return, you could do a flashback, and so you could actually use it like what is it, Phone Booth or whatever, that movie with Colin Farrell. It's shot entirely inside of a dumbass phone booth, basically.
right.
You basically treat the bowling alley like the phone booth, and you just use that as a way to reach out imaginarily to other realms in between each frame. Not jokingly, that probably could be a format for any kind of story that you wanted to tell. You could make that a comedy, drama. You could do that, just have her do drugs, just be tripping balls by the end. Just
Absolutely.
But yeah.
But it's a story of conquest. It's a story of overcoming. It's a story of, it covers a lot of things. Plus,
Of
we get to have
motherhood.
trippy effects
Well, that's
and
just
her
it.
going fucking wild on shit.
That's just it. Because of the frame narrative, the frame format of it, in between bowling frames, and her like sing the next, like, am I gonna, don't fuck up, perfect game, all in.
The
I guess
anxieties and all of
there'd be
that.
9 gaps. There'd be 9 gaps in between. Well, actually, and then there's so it's 13 balls that you roll to get a 300 game. So yeah, you have 12 gaps. Nice little dozen there.
Yep.
Yeah, you have plenty of room to do whatever the fuck. It doesn't have to be linear at all, because you're always coming back to the bowling alley.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you could make the make this, if this is still the same narrative you're talking about with all these notes, you could somehow make the opening of the movie kind of a 10 or 15 minute prologue to this, and then you just, the rest of the movie is a bowling. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Anyway, I like the idea of the bowling alley.
I love the idea of the bowling
myself
alley.
out of my
I
own
love
idea.
the idea of having the 12 individual things that happen that kind of separate it and show the evolution of the realization of the potential of a perfect game, coupled with the crazy psychedelics that are getting ready to start coursing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cool things that kind of intersect in this, that as it builds, it could just continue to become bigger as people gather around to want to see it from the perspective of the protagonist, our hero. That from that perspective, it could start to become a coliseum full of people and spotlights, and I mean, it could literally become fantasy at that point.
well, two things. So I think it's 12 balls. So I was mistaken. But you got that extra 2 balls there at the end. And is it Tin Cup? No, it's not Tin Cup. It's the movie with Woody Harrelson.
Uh-huh.
I think.
Kingpins.
And yeah, and then Bill Murray shows up as the antagonist at the end.
Yeah.
I think with the hair, that sort of build up, like the way they do that whole end of that movie is basically like we're basically going to take that ending and spread it out into a whole movie.
Into an entire movie.
Yeah.
And because
Absolutely.
and it ends up, like you said, being essentially 12 mini stories that take place, which means each one can have its own sort of life with the drug pushing that narrative in whatever direction we want. That's fun.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
such
you
a
get to-
fun
you
idea.
Get to break out into she's sober at the bowling alley, but then every single little breakaway is like she's tripping out in the 70s or going back to where she's on something like that.
Maybe she's just having a conversation with somebody at the beginning and their face starts melting. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Maybe people interact with her that try to rattle her or that try to, there's a zillion ways that could go for sure.
Well, there's
Good.
the fun of it is you blur those lines because of the story we're kind of telling, and we have to figure out where reality, in a very Leaving Las Vegas style, where does reality end and begin?
There you go.
Kind of twist that up at the end there.
Yep.
You can make your own reality. Be like, what was actually happening the whole time?
But having that big grand ending, the big grand ending is what I really wanted. Remember, Terry, that originally I said if we could have pulled it off, I wanted the end of the Rich Kid Blues to be just a golden glittery tunnel with lights and flashes and Lash coming out victorious and with blood and showered and confetti, and that being like the full realization of his inner psychosis.
Right.
That
would
this
have been fun. Yeah.
this is where I think
Yeah.
that kind of lands.
If we could have added like him putting on lipstick or glamming himself up, trying to, and the glitter thing, so that at the end he was just completely,
could do
transformed from the beginning.
Maybe.
Yeah, you could do an ex machina, where it turns out the entire movie happened inside of a couple of seconds of Sprig's imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cut to like the very beginning of the movie where he just sort of sitting there like dead in the eyes or something, and it's like, sir, can you help me? Like, oh, hey, and then that's it. Like, yeah, it could just be the woman. It could be like, because why not? Because every movie's just made up. We could just make the ending that he just made up all this on the spot. Yeah, I mean, we still do the whole movie. We tell the whole story, but then you just put the tag at the end where it never even happened, and he just imagined it all. Because fuck it.
Because he's got dementia.
Maybe he wakes up. Maybe he wakes up from being blacked out.
Because he's like, yeah, could be that. Like, basically, it's a way of just sort of like the whole story was a preface for just explaining how insanely autistic this Sprig character is. Like, he just not only does he fix stuff, but he also makes up entire 12-part stories about people we just met, and then he comes back to reality.
Oh, poor slow Dewey.
Yeah,
You really were named poorly.
Yeah, exactly. Like his brain is just so insanely fast that like it outpaces everything else, so he just looks slow.
Yeah.
So
he's like if the Rain Man wasn't a little bitch.
Yeah, you should probably talk shit about Rain Man for sure.
All right. So
Yeah, no, I don't know.
where do we stand on this, Terry?
Well, I think we have a pretty good fleshed out somewhat of an outline,
Yeah.
all the beats anyway.
we need to break out Act 3 a little bit. That can happen later. Maybe
Write
that's
it
what we'll do
up.
next time. We'll take what we have here and just kind of focus on it and expand out on what some of these premises mean and thicken it up a little bit before we start the physical writing. Once we get writing, I think it's going to go quick.
And I do like the idea of possibly having Dewey at the end, just a moment of him. Maybe it started out where he's looking at, he's in the cafeteria or their kitchen area, and he's eating lunch, and he just notices Judy from across the room, and then that's where we come back, and he's just still in that same spot, like
Maybe
Okay.
checking
maybe
out
we
this
can
old lady.
make him prescient somehow, where like the hint is that he didn't just imagine it, he foretold it, so like he's interacting with or talking to one of these ladies, and then he goes, we tell the whole story, and then he comes back and like he makes some sort of mention or some sort of nod toward like, hey, this is about what this is gonna happen to you or something, like I don't know, like then we make it real again. So he didn't just make it up, we somehow hint that he actually saw what's about to happen to this lady, and we just told the story in advance, and then she's about to go live it. I don't know. That's a wild hair, just as a way of maybe tying back in.
But I think everything that we beat out here is something that we can now.
What if they slide her back to the 1920s with Hitler 2,
Hitler too.
and they try to just be really cool to him
Also,
and finance his artistic endeavors in order to end the future Holocaust?
You joke, but let's do it. Let's do a slider frame. We'll actually have her like, because it can be just totally non sequitur. We can have this lady bowling slide her out to Hitler 2 during one of the frames, and just like have this weird flashback, like where maybe she's Ava Braun, maybe
Right.
she's like, because you slide her, yeah, it's like she's Hitler's girlfriend all of a sudden, and but. Age appropriate though, like we could actually make it so that like it was actually a flashback, like that she's just remembering something also. But anyway, I'm down. I'm down to clown.
All right. Well, I think we've done the Lord's work here for tonight. We got almost 2 hours in.
yeah.
How you guys feel about it?
Yeah. Feel good. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
still, I'm still just learning about the concept in this late stage.
That's all right.
But it feels solid, and nice shirt, by the way, Terry. That's nice. You're looking sharp there in your.
Yeah, that
Hey.
Fist Deep shirt is slick. Where'd you get that?
I gotta represent from Teespring. I think we have our own little merch link we can throw up.
Yeah, I gotta order me up one of those in black. That's a good gig shirt.
It is cool, yeah, for show.
Literally, there's the pussy fart sound effect.
There's the farts. All right. Thanks for tuning in, nobody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Ungrateful heathens.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
ungrateful
for tuning in.
heathens. You're terrible.
Hey, thanks to you, gentlemen, for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming
helping
out,
us
dude.
flesh out my ideas.
Oh, I feel like I just bullshitted all over your guys' ideas. I'm so sorry.
No,
It
I
was
think-
useful.
That was the
Hello.
point.
All right.
For us
Well,
to
mission
Walk through the
accomplished.
shit.
All right. Yeah. I look forward to reading the pages once you start generating those. It'll be fun.
Bang this shit out.
Yeah,
Write it
I think it's
up.
going to be a
One of
fun
those things.
story.
Right.
I still
I
got
just
Chris
think that-
Shaw
Oh,
in
it
the
is.
credits.
Thanks.
It is true though. Having lots
Yep.
of notes helps you get it written. Like when I had all the notes for the storm warning and stuff like that, it's easy
Yep.
as hell to write.
It makes it a lot easier, yeah, because you're not
Yeah.
just you can. It's like the drawstring and the note cards and everything. Just being
Yeah.
able to pull.
Yeah. It's like I wish that I could be more effective at utilizing those techniques because I